Zindagi Na Milegi dobara, or should I say, You Only Live Once. It's a movie that I've seen many times. It's about three friends that go on a road trip, and it's about self-discovery, personal growth. It's about overcoming certain challenges in your life, find out the things that you desire. It's about opening up and sharing and realize what's most important to you and the things that also have been holding you back. It stars Hrithik Roshan, for the people who don't know, Farhan Akhtar and Abedil. Honestly, if you haven't seen it, do watch it. But I was watching it again the other day, and everything that I more or less talk about sort of like, again, came to surface about, even though these three friends supposed to be so close and, there for each other, it's a bachelor trip that they're going on. That's still, with men, mostly men, doesn't matter. I mean, and that's the thing, the beauty of movies like this is actually trying to create what people are like in real life and bringing them, to the screen so we can see it. And maybe that's the reason so many people connected to it and so many people liked it, because even if we think that we know where we're going and what we're doing, it's not always the right path, or it's not a path that we are sure of. Sometimes we're doing it for the wrong reasons. And then the other thing I was going to say was, certainly with these three friends, what you realize is that there's so much about themselves that they don't even share with each other. Things that they should, and they should open up and speak about, they do as they continue on with their journey, but only when things get so difficult that they have no choice but to say what they truly feel and what's happening in their life. And that's what happens with most men. Whatever's going on in our life, we try to keep it inside, right? Thinking, again, we don't want to tell anyone else. I mean, you got Farhan Akhtar's character, Imran, who discovers that his biological father, didn't want to be in his life, wasn't in his life. The person that was raising him was his stepfather. But he only realizes that once his stepfather passes on. But again, it's something that he couldn't speak openly and tell his friends. And then you got Abedil's character, Kabir, who's about to get married, but again, he's unsure of, going through with it. He's keeping his feelings inside. He believes that it's the right thing to do and he doesn't want to disappoint people, but he can't even open up and tell his friends. There's a moment in the movie where Arjun, which is played by Hrithik Roshan, he basically says, the only reason you've brought us on this trip is that you need to hear it from us. And that's what ends up happening sometimes. It's like the people that we have around us, the things that are within, what we want to open up and say, what we truly feel, we're hoping that someone else sees without us saying it, or talks us out, even though, because we don't believe that we've got the courage to make that choice, to make that decision. But then at the same time, we're afraid to open up and say how we truly feel. And then you got obviously Arjun's character, which is Hrithik Roshan, who, due to his childhood traumas of father passing away when he's young, mother was in debt, realised that money is more or less everything. He's got a plan of his life, how much money he wants to make, by what age, how he wants to live his life, that his friendships and his relationships didn't basically matter. All that mattered was the money that he wanted to make, only to then be here with his friends on this trip, falling in love, discovering himself, overcoming his fears, and then, realizing what truly makes him happy, what he truly wants in life, what he, lost on his journey, and what he found. So all three of them sort of discover so much about themselves. At one point, even Imran's character, as he meets his father, he discovers about himself of, he jokes about life and he doesn't take it seriously. And sometimes he doesn't even apologize for the mistakes that he makes or the pain that he might cause others, because he's so much just thinking about himself, only to then realize that saying sorry to someone and hurting someone's feelings, He discovers it at the moment that he meets his biological father, of how it is, like, how other people can be hurt by someone else's actions. And then to open up from the heart to tell someone how you feel, or to open up from the heart to say sorry for the things that you might have done to help hurt others. So there's all these things that happen in this movie that you realize. If you haven't seen it, do watch it. But what I wanted to get up to was, again, these three friends had each other, trusting in each other, grew up together, but yet there's certain things or parts of their life they couldn't speak to each other about. And this is what happens in life. We feel that opening up about these things, people won't understand, but at the same time, we wish that we had people who would help us get out of whatever we were going through, and also maybe show us the way, But recently someone wrote something, a message on one of my videos, more or less like, can you get prolific people on your podcast, get people who know, stuff, the experts out there who have succeeded, who have the knowledge that you can interview, just like everyone else is doing at the moment. They've got all these people, these experts that come onto their podcasts. If you see, they're all fighting for them. If they're not on one person, they're on everyone else's within that month kind of thing, all talking about the same things. And what you sort of realize is that several things happen. Number one, it means that we don't believe in ourselves. We don't believe that who we are, what we're thinking, what we're feeling is right. That we need other people who we call the so-called experts, or, people who are famous, who or have studied so much in whatever profession, that they are the ones that have the answers to our lives. And the other problem that we have is that it means that we don't trust ourselves. It means that we don't believe in ourselves. And then that's the other thing, because we don't open up to the people that are around us who truly know us, part of us feels like they're going to judge us or criticize us, and the other part of us feels like they won't be able to help us anyway. So we're afraid, but then we end up also not believing in our own intuition, our own gut feeling, our own thoughts and emotions, and we end up doing things that we're not comfortable about, like Kabir was going to do by getting married. It wasn't something he wanted to go through, but he felt like once this decision and choice was made, he could not get himself out of it, because he was a good person. He didn't want to hurt anyone's feelings. And this is what ends up happening. Sometimes we do things because we do see ourselves as good people, and we believe that saying we can't do something or going against or upsetting somebody else would go against that good person that we know we are. That we've got to keep on doing this. But friends sometimes tell you that the right thing to do doesn't always mean that it makes you a bad person. That's the thing. And I think when you've got all these experts that we keep on listening to on podcasts, videos, and, they're getting interviewed, yes, they've done their research. But even that, you'll find out in life, once they continue on with their research and they've got more tools, more technology to do even further research, sometimes their own research that they sort of believed in and they shared and they told people to do, they end up sort of going beyond that to realize that that wasn't right, and it's something else that is now better, And it's the same thing with sort of famous people. People look at it and they think that they know the answers to their own life. If you see, one person can turn around and say, I want to be rich. I want to be famous. I want a good physique. I want a good family life, good relationships, whatever it might be, great career. So you got all these things happening, but what you're doing is you're listening to about 6-7 different people talking about their own certain journeys. So you would have to be 7 people to get all that. One person can't do all those things in one go. They can try, but what you realize is having someone prolific, having someone who's an expert, who's successful, They can tell you everything that they're doing or everything that they know, but are they happy? Are they satisfied? Are they fulfilled? See, that's the kind of people that I would love to have, to talk to. Real people who, they don't have to be millionaires, billionaires. They don't have to have, like vast amount of education behind them. Back in the days, what would have mattered was your relationships, your family, just your home, the food. Things that were important was, am I getting food to eat? Have I got a roof over my head? The clothes that I wear, have I got a good relationship? Am I feeling free? Am I independent? There's people out there whose life was controlled, restricted. They just want to be free. They want to be happy. They want to be, wanted peace, part of a community. Now the world tells you those things aren't enough. People believe that also that it's not enough. So they keep on searching and wanting more and more. But you'll see people who are rich, who aren't, no matter how much money they've got, they're not happy. There's people out there who've been married about 5 or 6 times and they're still not happy and fulfilled in their relationship. They keep on thinking that there's going to be someone who's better out there for them, who'll make them feel good. There's people out there in great shape. They're on everything. They're eating their, like perfect diets, train 2 or 3 times a day. They got all the, right group of people around them. But still, how they look isn't enough, that they have to take like drugs and, other supplements, other things to like keep on enhancing, keep on being better. But remember, our bodies are not going to stay that way regardless of what age you are. Yeah, you can carry on. But obviously, it means that you're still feeling like you lack something, that you have to keep on working hard at it. And the problem is, our minds get so absorbed in trying to improve and getting better in, whatever it is that you're trying to pursue, that you forget about the other things in your life. And once you can no longer make that money, or you can't get that physique because old age is going to catch up with you, or you haven't reached that fame, you realize that life went by. It sort of disappeared. And this is what I mean. And again, having experts or trying to listen to experts, it just shows more and more that we don't trust ourselves. We don't believe in ourselves. We need other people who don't know us to tell us how to live our lives, what to do that probably make us happy. But when they are coming and speaking, ask yourself, have they come from the same background that you've come from? Same upbringing, same family life, same food, same country, same views, same beliefs? Think of that. Because it's one thing of going, listen to someone from the Western world about certain things, whereas you're not from there, or listen to someone from the East, but yet you haven't been from there. Now, they can turn around and people can say that, well, in America, there's obesity and, or in the UK, it's like this. And this is what we're doing to eat and think. But you'll realize that in the East, they might not have the same issues and problems. They also, when they're looking at the so-called successful people in the world, what their morning routines are, what they eat, how they train, how they think, what they do. Now ask yourself, the rich billionaires, there's billionaires all around the world, are they following the same routines and patterns as the billionaires or the rich people around, the rest of the world? What are their routines? What are their patterns? What are the experts in other places, in other countries? What are the foods that other people are eating? How are people in Greece happy? How are people in India happy? How are people in, China, Australia, UK, America, Egypt, Dubai, you name it, Mexico? There's people who are happy in so many different countries who haven't got what other people have. There's so many people who are happy who haven't got 6-pack abs and a great physique and need all, surgery to enhance themselves, but they're happy. There's people out there who've got just a family, haven't got a big community, but are happy, satisfied and fulfilled. There's people out there who've got jobs that might not be making millions and billions, but they're happy, satisfied and fulfilled. There's people out there who day in, day out don't need to strive and look at what everyone else has got and feel like there's something missing in their lives. They haven't got that money, they haven't got that career, they haven't got the fame, but yet they're so happy and satisfied and fulfilled. But then there's people around the world who have it all those things that we look at and we're thinking, well, they look like they've got it all figured out, but they're not happy. But yet we're trying to rely and depend on these people telling us what these people who are just like us are saying is good for us. How we should read, what we should listen to, what we should watch, what we should do day in, day out regarding work, what we should do in our relationships, who we should be, how we should be. It's because we don't trust us. We don't listen to our own intuition. We don't listen to our own feelings and emotions. We're smart enough to know what is right for us, what we want. And the problem is, majority of times, we feel anxious, we feel lost, we feel low, drained, stressed. We feel all that is because sometimes what we want, we already have, or what we want isn't as much as what all these other people have or striving for. But we feel like if we don't do what they're saying in the way that they're saying it, that there's something lost in us, something missing in us, that we're not good enough. But yet at the same time, the things that are happening in our life, we, like now in this movie, Kabir knew that he didn't want to get married. But he couldn't make that choice, which he should have done. He was more than capable of doing. Imran knew that he could talk to his friends and tell them what he's going through, what he's feeling. Not that he had to get to a point where it's so difficult that he had no choice. Arjun knew all the things that he lost trying to strive for that money, it didn't bring him happiness and joy. But these moments of going away with the people that mattered did. Even though he didn't have that money and he wouldn't have it tomorrow, that it wouldn't have mattered. What he was doing and what he had was a lot more. Only if he looked at it. And the thing is, we're so lost in this world at this moment because we got devices like, our phones, laptops and everything like that. And we've got so many people talking and telling us who we should be, what we should do, how we should be, what we should have, what we should be doing day in, day out. That what we have and who we are is not enough. And we got to keep on doing more and more and more. And then at the same time, we're not talking, we're not listening to ourselves. And we're not talking to the people that we trust and that matter and we know that they care about us. And maybe we're afraid that they're going to tell us, striving for those millions of pounds is bullshit. You wasting your life away. It doesn't matter what you're going to do once you get it. How is it going to change your life? Why is it going to matter? Striving for that fame isn't going to make anything better in your life. You know what I mean? You have what you've got. You could do the best with what you have. And it's those kind of things. Sometimes we don't want to listen to them because they might tell us what we truly already know. But at the same time, we're not listening to ourselves either. But we're willing to listen to these strangers that we don't know, day in, day out, tell us all the things that they believe is right for them. For them, their upbringing, what worked for them. Because at one point in their life, they were lost. They didn't know where they were going. They didn't know what they wanted to do. But they found themselves. They found something that was important to them. They did what they did day in. Their morning routine is different to everyone else. I guarantee every billionaire out there hasn't got the same morning routine. They ain't eating the same foods, because they all live in different countries. They've had different upbringings. They don't have the same relationships with their partners. Right? They don't have the same relationship with their families. Success to each of these people are different. Fame to each of these people is different. Life to each of these people is different. And the thing is, we keep on looking at, what are the crumbs that they're leaving behind? What are they doing so we can live their life? But truthfully, do you actually want to live their lives? And once you got it, do you actually think that you're going to be happy? What if we looked at ourselves and we listened to our own hearts, our own minds of what we want? What makes us happy? What would we be satisfied with? Some people might be satisfied and happy with just £50,000. Some might be satisfied with 100,000, 500,000, 1 million. Many people don't need to be billionaires. Some people will just be happy hitting the gym and being flexible and active. They don't need six-pack abs or have a bodybuilder's physique. Some people will be happy eating day-to-day food that they enjoy. It could be, Indian food, roti, dal, sabji. It could be like, English, food. It could be Italian, could be, Greek, whatever it might be, Mexican food. What they might not have to restrict themselves like the world is telling them. Some people might be happy with 6 hours sleep, 7 hours sleep, 8 hours sleep. Some people probably don't need that morning routine to do a cold plunge, and all the rest of the stuff. We all are different. And the thing is, the world keeps on confusing us and filling our heads in with all the stuff that they know. And at the same time, if you listen to them, these so-called experts, they also contradict themselves as well. So you got one expert who comes in and tells you this, and the next one comes in and tells you something else. And even the so-called successful people, they all, if you have a proper listen and read, their routines, the way that they work, some people love loud music, some people like people around them, Then there's other people who need quiet and peace. All of these people, what they have achieved in their lives, in their relationships, in their goals, in their dreams, it's all by doing something that was different, but something that they were happy doing. And then all of a sudden they've said, this is what worked for us. And everyone's like going, oh, brilliant. Oh, great. These people obviously worked it out. No, they just did what was working around their life, their kids, their family, their situation, their parents, whatever it might be. It worked for them. Some had morning, some had night routine. Some worked in the afternoon, some slept 8 hours, some slept 5. It was due to their circumstances and their life. They ate what they could when they wanted to, and all of a sudden they found a new diet, and it worked somehow. It's you doing what you need to do day in, day out to find yourself. What works for you in your work life, in your family life, in your physical health, mental health, what works for you, what makes you happy. Because at the end of the day, the money, the fame, the physique, all these things, if you got relationships that don't work and they're horrible, all these things aren't going to matter if you're not happy, satisfied and fulfilled. And finding those things, like I said, could be one person might not need that money. They might be happy sitting at home with a cup of tea, listening to music with candles on, or sitting in nature. Many times, most people will also tell you that the things that bring them happiness and joy and peace and fulfillment are the things that are free in life. But yet, when we listen to that, many people think that's not enough. And that is because this society and this world keeps on telling you that what you have or what you can have for free isn't good enough. And what you're doing with your life and what you have isn't good enough. You're not good enough. Hence why we keep on pushing ourselves more and more to be even more stressed, more unhappy. We're feeling more lonely. We're feeling isolated. Families are becoming dysfunctional. We're pushing people away. We don't find the joy in the day-to-day things, the simple things, because the world keeps on telling us that that isn't enough. These so-called experts that people want to keep on listening to. And that's what I want to do here. I want to be able to tell people that, number one, listen to yourselves. Listen to what you want, how you feel. And if you've got people that, like friends, like in Zindagi Na Milegi, if you've got friends that you know that you can trust and they're being there for you, maybe talk to them. Certainly for men, you need to open up and speak. Because the more that you do, you realize that you don't need to listen to these so-called experts and everyone else who's filling your heads in about everything that you should have, you should be. You might realize that what you already have is enough, is more than enough. And you might realize that from the people that grew up and know you so well, they might be able to tell you that the direction that you're heading is bringing you happiness and joy, just like in Arjun's case. That there's other things that are more meaningful and that you genuinely can have and do that will bring you more happiness and fulfillment in your life. And this is what we need. We need to be able to do that. Listen to us and listen to the people that actually truly know us, instead of all this world that keeps on filling our heads in with, they're telling us not to take in junk, but at the end of the day, they don't know us. That is a lot of junk coming from so many different places that we see as valuable. But is it? Ask yourself, is it making you happy? Is it actually day to day bringing you joy, or is it actually confusing you even more and making you even more stressed, even more low and drained, and making you feeling unhappy with your life? Is it taking away your peace with all these people on all these shows and podcasts sitting there saying the same things again and again? Is it bringing you what you truly need in your life? And also, if you haven't seen the movie, make sure you do. And remember, the film is about self-discovery, and you will see that majority of us love movies about self-discovery, personal growth, people finding themselves and the life that they want. But remember what it says, self-discovery. We discover ourselves, what's best for ourselves, with the journey that we take and the actions that we take and the people that are around us. And this is what we connect to the most when we're watching these things and we're reading these books. It's about those people who did one way or another, because somewhere deep down within us, we want to feel that we're able to find ourselves too. But the only way we're going to do that is because we're living in this world that they're telling you not to trust yourself, not to trust your own feelings and emotions. They want you to keep thinking that there's people out there better, they know better, and they know how you should be and how you should live. You need to trust yourself. You need to believe in yourself. And you need to realize that it is self-discovery, self-acceptance, self-worth, self-compassion. It starts with self. And the only way you're going to end up finding what truly matters to you is if you start listening to yourself. Maybe that's what you need to do too. Believe in yourself.